Livingstone, I know that you've listened to Mr. Bada speaking. On the side of Iran, they say, look, this is unprovoked. I mean, they were just at the heart of a negotiation, nuclear negotiation with the U.S. The talks were on. And then for Israel, this is really about deterrence. And so I want to get your thoughts about the justification of this conflict.
Well, just as my elder on the other side has tried to go historical, there is a long history between Israel and Iran. If you go further down, between 1925 and 1979, there is a record that there was no form of hostility between these two states. As a matter of fact, when Israel was declared an independent state, Iran was said to be the second nation, Islamic nation, to endorse the status of Israel after Turkey. So up until 1979, when the Iranian Revolution took place, there was love between both until love was lost, as at 1979, when a regime came on board which began to see an enemy in Israel. So in between, of course, there is the struggle by Israel at all costs to survive as the only Jewish state on earth, much as it is boundaried by some neighbors whom it sees as enemies. So Israel is always on the lookout because for any reason, should Israel become vulnerable or become a target of destruction or annihilation, as some have sought to carry out against her, Israel will go into extinction. And I want to state clearly that this is not a Christian-Muslim war, so that people do not begin to take it out of context. Israel per se is not strictly a Christian state, it's a Jewish state. And it is a war of might, is a war of superiority contest between contending supernations and their proxies. Because what has happened recently is traced largely to Israel's belief that Iran is strongly behind the sponsorship of Hezbollah and Hamas, which has placed Israel under serious attacks and categorized as terrorist organizations by Europe and America. But at this point, where Iran sees Israel as attacking its nuclear interests, and Israel sees Iran as attacking its own cyber interests and all other political interests, Iran is seen as a major nation that has put Israel under existential threat. So, but the point to go is where we begin to notice a serious global leadership failure in all of these conflicts, particularly in view of the fact that there are core mandates that led to the setting up of the United Nations. And it does appear to me that from 1948, if I'm not mistaken, or 45, the year in which the UN was established after the League of Nations up until now, where it was aimed at containing global wars and stopping the furtherance of any other world war, we have seen much more wars between the setting up of the UN and up until now at the regional levels that even transcend beyond the scope and the dimensions of the World Wars I and II that took place. Humans have died under violent conflict between the dates the UN was set up until now. And so it begins to raise the concerns whether the UN has indeed succeeded in its core mandate. In my view, the UN has not succeeded. I wouldn't say they have failed. I would rather say that they have not succeeded in their core mandates in